fathers from a this evening, we ask for your wisdom and guidance to lead us through this meeting. We seek out to build a better community for tomorrow for our residents. These things we ask in your name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain.
Here.
Booth.
Here.
Avon.
Here.
Winkle.
Excused.
Jacobs.
Here.
Maleski.
Here.
DeVries.
Here.
Mayor.
Here.
Service Director.
Here.
Law Director.
Here.
Engineer.
Here.
Auditor.
Here.
Clerk of Council. Here.
Tonight before you see the under minutes, we have the public hearing minutes of August the 2nd, 2021 regarding Meadow Lakes PCD phase number 19. Are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. We also have the city council meeting minutes of August the 16th, 2021. At this time, are there any changes or corrections? Hearing none, those minutes are approved. Finally, we have notes from the safety committee meeting minutes of August the 24th, 2021. And that will bring us to our lobby session. At this time, we will pause and allow members of the community to come up and speak on whatever topic they choose. They will be given 3 minutes to speak. We'll actually set a clock for them. At that time, we will ask them to yield. And if they need more time, a council member may grant them additional 3 minutes. We would ask that when you do come up, you step to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and we will have you begin. At this time, we have a gentleman, Thomas Ashton, who wishes to speak. Mr. Ashton, if you would please step to the microphone.
Hello, my name is Thomas Ashton, and my address is 9100 Handyside Drive here in North Ridgeville, Ohio, 44039.
Thank you for being here.
So my topic is they paved our road last year, and I've sent numerous emails and gotten some responses and stuff from John Montgomery. He's been out and we've talked to him. But ever since they paved the road, now there's nowhere for the water runoff to go, and our yard being the lowest on the street, it all runs into my yard now and it floods and it's pretty much been all summer. I've had standing water. I can't mow the grass in that section of my yard. It's got algae, bugs, it smells really bad. So it's been kind of a nuisance. They said they were gonna put drainage on our side, but that was the last email I got a response to in July, and they said, I understood no tentative start date, but they said about a month. And here we are in September and they haven't done anything. And my last email that I sent was August 19th and I haven't heard anything. My wife called last week and we got no response, no return phone call. So it's kind of caused us a lot of issues. We were trying to repave our driveway and we can only do about half of it because it's you know, we don't want them to have to tear it up when they run the culvert pipe through that they said they were gonna do, but I don't know. I've been patient. I've been trying to give them a fair amount of time, but you know, it's just been causing us a lot of issues. Every time we have people over, it conveniently rains, then driveway's flooded. We gotta go park our cars at my work and, you know, make room. So it's just been one nuisance after another, you know, so, you know, they told my wife on the phone, I don't remember who she talked to, but they said, you should be happy you got a new paved road, like that you asked for. I'm like, we didn't ask for a paved road. I was okay with it gravel. I like my dead end street. It was wider too. When they put the road in, now it's narrower, so it's hard to back trail, you know, my camper in and out of my driveway. So it's just been, you know, thought it was really nice at first, and then when it started raining, now it's the ground's so saturated, it literally has to rain one day, and it just looks like it never dried up. So like right now it's kind of dry, but it's too wet. I can't even mow it. So
Well, Ms. Jackson, you've done the right thing by contacting the city. I'm sure they have a record of it. As a member of council, we will follow up with, we now have your name, your complaint, and you'll hear from one of us, just to see if we can work together to come to some sort of remedy on this. But thank you for letting us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Ms. Louise Miles. Again, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Louise Miles. My address is 37797 Avalon Drive, North Ridgeville. I have 3 houses right from Stoney Ridge. And I read in the paper and I was told tonight that you guys were going to be discussing that intersection of Mills, Stoney Ridge, and Avalon. And I go through that intersection 2 or 4 times a day. And I never have any problems either coming, going, whether I'm going to the Y, Colorado or whatever. And like I came through there at 6:30 today, there was no backup on Mills Road. People are complaining about it. My thought is, instead of trying to put a it or dig it all up and go around, just put a traffic light in if people are having problems. I mean, I've never seen any problem every time I've gone through there, so I don't know. But it would affect us a lot because we're right there.
Thank you for your comments. We will be having a discussion on it. It will be going to a committee where the public can weigh in more and there'll be more explanation as to how it will work. But thank you for your concern. And again, we will definitely explore what the possibilities are with it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Through the chair, can I just make
Yes, Mr. Engineer.
quick comments on that? We did do a study for that intersection. Not only was it a, it's a safety problem. We had more traffic accidents there in the time periods that we looked. I want to say from 17 to 19 to 20, we've had upwards of 30 accidents, 15 on our side, 15 on the Avon side. So it's more of a safety thing as well. It's a combination of safety and traffic. And we did do a study and we did look at a light there, but the light was almost $1 million more because we had to add several lanes of traffic to that intersection to be able to build a light that would work properly there. So
I've never seen an accident there.
the police reports say otherwise.
How about currently? It's still a problem?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I will say that about 6 months ago, I have requested an accident report from Chief Freeman. I did receive it, and it does reflect what you're saying. There have been a number of accidents in the last 3 years. I'd like to see it again because it's been a while since I've looked at it. If need be, I could actually share that with you and just show you what the accidents happened, what dates they happened, and what type of accidents they were. But I was concerned when I saw the report myself. But again, there'll be further conversation on this topic. So that people can also, again, show their concerns and have a chance to gather information and understand what we're trying to accomplish. Of course, our main objective is always safety, and efficiency when moving through the city, but safety is number one. And I did see the report, it was concerning. So with that, we will get another copy of that. We have your information. I'll see if we can get that out and share it with you so that you can see what our concerns are.
Thank you.
You're welcome. At this time, is there anybody else who'd like to speak in the lobby session? Sir, please step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
My name's Gary Shine, live at 34893 Highland Drive, North Ridgeville. And we've had a flooding problem for probably at least 7 years now. The street floods and goes into the homes because of storm sewers. But I've been talking with, last few years, Mr. Booth, Mr. Rodriguez, Strong Brewster, and Mr. Corbin about things. And I'd like to know if there's going to be a concrete plan, a date when they're going to start to fix this problem. It affects like about five streets floods, about a foot and a half in the street, comes in the yards, and then it comes into the home. We've had water, and we've lost our insurances because of this over the years. So home insurance. So My mother, God rest her soul, she had a problem back then. The previous administration noted the problem also. And she said, we're not gonna get insurance anymore. So, but I picked it up after that. I would like to know when they're gonna do this, fix this.
But I do know that there have been a number of plans we've had going forward to address flooding. Obviously, flooding is an ongoing problem in Northbridge, but has been for a long time. I grew up off of Jacobs myself on Denise Drive, and later a person's house on Paula Boulevard, and experienced some flooding. But I do know that since the Highland ditch was dug out a couple of years ago, there are some improvements over there. It's not fixed. It's not a finished product, so I know there's more work to be done. We have your address and your name. We can actually have someone reach out to you from the building department or the street department and see what kind of plan they have and when the dates are when they plan to move forward. Unless, Mr. Engineer, is there anything you can say right now? I don't want to catch you off guard, but is there plans right now for that area?
No, I don't have any comments right now.
Okay, let us see what we have, and we'll reach out to you and find out what we can do to address it.
Okay, let me say, I've been talking with them and they have said that they are making some progress, but I haven't seen, too much. I take pictures and I looked when the last problem was, and it was May 15th, 2020. So that's not that long ago. And I don't know what they've done since then. I don't think much, because I looked in my back ditch that's used to be cleared out that goes out into the French Creek, and it hasn't been in a couple of years. And weeds and everything's growing in it, but that would help a little with the flow of the water, in my opinion.
Are you in the north or the south side of Highland?
I'm on the south side of Highland. Yes.
Yep, just some comments. I've communicated with the gentleman for quite a long time, and there's been a lot of things that we've done, especially in the Highland area. Just, again, it's not a permanent fix. There's so much that can be done. The city has to do it in phases. We have done a retention pond south of this property by the high tension wires. That was something that on city land that we could do relatively inexpensively and to help stop the flow of water before it gets to Highland. That's what we're trying to do, is do our best to all the water retention program that the city has. You can look at the French Creek wastewater program that we're in the middle of right now. I'm sorry, the Mills Creek wastewater program that we're in right now. $4 million project where the flooding occurs, though in many places, the biggest chunk of it appears down in Mills Creek. But in order to fix that, you have to go back upstream to try to hold that water back. And so the plan is to, again, continuously build retention ponds and slow the water down before it gets there, hold it back so that it can flow at a slower pace so that it does stop flowing. So we built a retention pond. We cleaned that ditch. We actually straightened the ditch that comes into Highland Drive that used to go right towards one of the homes. We re-diverted that, cleaned that all out, put new piping in. So that, again, that helps.
Yeah, but since then it hasn't been cleaned out.
We cleaned the ditch on the north side of it. That 90-degree, there's 2 90-degree turns that we've done that has grown back. That needs to be addressed again, but we have done things. And so
Yeah, there's some things done.
but to give the gentleman an exact day as to when his problems will be solved, I've talked to the engineer, I've talked to the safety service director. There's just not a date that we can't give anybody in the city of North Ridgeville a date as to when that happens. And then when you do have 2 inches, 3 inches within an hour, there's no system that any community can build that will hold that back. And so I've had water in my home. I've lived in my home. I live half a mile from this gentleman's house 3 times. So I understand the issues, and wastewater treatment have been studies has been one of my top.
Stormwater, mostly right now, stormwater, they built that retention base, that's true. They did an engineering study and
So
the recommended place to put a retention basin was a half a mile from where we built it.
and again, we can only go by what money we have to spend and what we can do. Again, I'm working with the engineer in the city. We will continue to address it. I just wanted people to know that we have not done many things that we have done. We continue to duty to do that.
Okay, well, that brings us to 3 minutes. Thank you for letting us know. We will again continue to let you know what the future plans are.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr.
if this gentleman has more points, I have no issue with giving him up to additional 3 minutes to speak.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Swain to add an additional 3 minutes. I will say, we did not keep the actual 3 minutes because we were speaking to him. So this time, sir, if you have additional things, you will get an additional 3 minutes to speak.
Okay, let's vote.
These meetings are not normally back and forth interactive, but we try to do the best we can to inform you of what is going on in the community.
Yeah, I know last councilman, I don't come to many council meetings. The last one I came to was a bunch of years ago and everybody was yelling at city council.
Yeah.
So I know what's going on.
So please continue.
Yeah, like I said, they appear to be working on the problem. But like I said, yeah, I don't like cleaning it up all the time, I'm tired of it. And it's happening. But that study that they did to build a retention basin, I was supposed to be right behind our house, pretty much, and it wasn't. It was like half a mile up the road. And I've been in contact with some landowner behind the property who would be willing to help with some of the land to build a little retention basin, even like a ditch or something like. I'm thinking a half acre to up to an acre would be good because about 5 houses flood in the street when that water gets a heavy rain. And I don't think it's a big one because it's only the subdivision is 40 houses, but you know, every development today being built has a retention basin pond close by, you know.
Sure. If there's any homeowner or property owners that you know of that's willing to donate land to the city to build such a pond, by all means, please get the engineering department.
I give up some, yeah, absolutely, because you know, in the back, it's like we have an extra, I would, but I don't know, you know, I did talk to my neighbor and he said he has children and he's concerned about that close to his house.
I understand. I mean,
But-
no one wants it in their backyard. That's the problem.
Thanks for the time, I just wanted to know, I wanted to keep this going.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else like to speak right now in the lobby session? Clerk, is there anybody joined us through YouTube or have any comments or correspondence from outside the meeting?
There are no comments from you today more and no additional correspondence brought forward today.
Good. At this time, clerk, the record reflect that Councilman Winkle has joined the meeting. At this time, we will turn it over to administrative reports. Mr. Mayor.
Okay, buckle up, this one's a little long. Thank you, Mr. President. There are 3 pieces of legislation on tonight's agenda. On the first readings, they'll be asking for the emergency clause. There's the first 2 are T108 and T109. Both of these pieces pertain to the Roundabout project at Stoney Ridge, Avalon, Mills Road. T108 authorizes us to prepare and submit an application to participate in the OPWC State Capital Improvement and or Local Transportation Improvement Programs. That's why I'm reading this. And T109 is a cooperative agreement with the city of Avon to construct the roundabout at this intersection that obviously we share with them. The reason for the emergency clause is to meet the OPWC application deadline. The third piece of legislation is T105, approving the sale of certain personal property owned by the city. 2 of them are police cars that have high mileage on them and extensive service records. As you know, right now, used cars are getting a pretty high price, so I'd rather move along and try to get that highest price that we possibly can before the used car market starts to down. Our street paving is going to continue. We're working on Emerald right now, preparing the roadway for paving the week of September 13th. Obviously, all paving is subject to weather conditions. Once Emerald is finished, they will move on to the last 3 streets on this year's list, Broad Boulevard, McKinley, and Rose. And they are anticipated to be milled the week of September 20th, followed by paving. Mosquito spraying. The Lorraine County Public Health will be conducting mosquito spraying throughout the city beginning this evening through Thursday, September 9th, weather permitting. White trucks with the Lorraine County Public Health decals will be spraying from approximately 8:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. each evening. The spray used is not harmful to human, animal, or plant life. If you have any questions, please contact the health department at 440-322-6367. The city, in cooperation with the North Ridgeville City Schools and Board of Education, will hold a special memorial service on Patriot Day, a national day of service and remembrance, on Saturday, September 11th at 8:30 a.m. The service will be held at Ranger Stadium. Thank you in advance to our fire and police departments, the VFW, North Ridgeville City School Superintendent Roxanne Ramsey Casario, High School Choir, the Pastor Kevin Crow, Tony and Donna Cipoletti, and retired firefighter Lou Simone for taking part in this year's ceremony. Our next coffee and conversation, which is always riveting, is going to be held on Monday, September 13th, here in council chambers at 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Don't forget also on September 11th, it is Skunk Fest from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And at this time, we're going to have a special check presentation. And I'd like to invite Joe Borkey from Victory Park, Ohio, and Heather Kaskin from North Ridgeville Community Care up to the front so we can talk about this check. So as you may have noticed, over the last couple of years, we've been doing fireworks over at Victory Park, Ohio. And it's with great pleasure that the city of North Ridgeville, in partnership with Victory Park, Ohio, co-sponsored by Pepco, the Freedom Festival and Fireworks event. This family-friendly event brought in large numbers, and those that attended reported that it was an awesome time and the fireworks were spectacular. The net proceeds from the event benefited Canine Superheroes Foundation and North Ridgeville Community Care. There was some concern about making fireworks an event where somebody would have to pay some money. One of the reasons for moving it over to Victory Park was to improve the safety of the event, having the larger shells that we shoot off at our event and South Central Park don't mix well together anymore. So to improve that safety, we moved it over. We've done it now twice. The first time was last year during COVID, and we did it around Labor Day time. But this year we did it on July 3rd. It went very well both times. There was money that was raised for community care. And today, Joe, if you want to say a few words.
If you'll indulge me.
Yes, please.
I'd be remiss if I didn't read something here. My faculties aren't the same as they used to be, so I'm gonna have to read something. Good evening, Mayor, Council. My name is Joe Borkey, and I'm the managing partner for Victory Park, Ohio. Just over a decade ago, we took interest in coming to the city in an attempt to save a fledgling business that was on the verge of causing some community distress at the time. Our team, passionate and committed to the vision, have done our best to make Victory Park, Ohio, an essential part of the community, the county, and Northeast Ohio. You can see it's only one page, so it's not a long one here. Our objective was to develop a venue that was safe, affordable, and flexible in offering the area a destination sports entertainment complex. With the addition of Victory Grill, Sweeties Golf Land, and Canine Superheroes Foundation, we believe that we've accomplished that. In addition to playing a major role to carrying with food, fast pitch, method fitness, and hoop tech. For over a decade now, we have worked hard to bring in new, unique, and large-scale events to Victory Park, Ohio that have created visibility and exposure to the city and area businesses, as well as provided the means for multiple charity competitions, events, and functions. This past July, with the support of the city of North Ridgeville, we developed, produced, and promoted the family-friendly Freedom Festival. Notice all the alliteration with that one. During the July 4th weekend, it featured multiple entertainers, food, and fireworks. The great time was had by all, and a glowing success by all accounts. We believe success bears responsibility of being a good corporate citizen and regularly giving back to the community that we serve. We are pleased to honor that commitment by supporting one of the local charities, North Ridgeville Community Care, by giving them this large donation check on behalf of Victory Park, Ohio, and the Victory Grill. Thank you. That check this year, $7,500.
Thank you for all you do for our community. We appreciate it.
Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Welcome.
Mr. Safety Service Director.
This will be very short. We have actually moved or will be moving the LED speed limit signs back to Milford. As Councilman Luce ably pointed out this week, with regards to number of signs that are actually, Milford is very long. We're actually gonna put 2 more sets of the speed signs up there, and for the time being, we'll have the LED lights. We moved them from 2 other streets that have been there for such time, and we will dedicate them to Milford for the next several weeks. That completes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Safety Service Director.
Mr. President, I'm sorry, can I jump in one last
Yes,
time?
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. You know, there was T111 that was going to be introduced on the floor, and you should have received a copy of that. You received an email about it, and it's put in on this. That ordinance is in appropriations. And at this point, I'd like to make a motion to dispense with, suspend the bylaws and place T111 on for first readings this evening.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Avon, to dispense with bylaws at T111 2021 to the agenda this evening. Clerk, please call roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Evans,
Yes.
Winkel,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Malinowski,
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Motion passes to dispense the bylaws and add T111 to the ordinance today.
T111 has been put to the agenda for this evening.
Thank
Swank, do you have a question? Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Engineer.
Thank you, Council President. Just a couple of follow-ups. We will be bidding out the Middle Street area water main rehabilitation project, September 13th, next week. Our full depth project is going well. They're working on 5 out of the 6 streets right now. We're leaving full drive as our last street. And our pavement marking project should begin this week, September 20th. So we'll have all these projects. That concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Engineer. Ms. Auditor.
Thank you, Council President. For council tonight, 2 pieces of legislation, T110 and now T111. T111 was emailed to council on Friday. I'd like to ask you to consider passing both pieces of legislation with the emergency clause to provide the auditor's office the necessary financial resources to conduct financial obligations.
Thank you, Ms. Auditor. Could you actually just give us a rundown on T111 real quick, as to what we're doing here?
T111, we are amending appropriations in the general fund, special revenue funds, capital project funds, enterprise funds, and agency funds. Overall, in the general fund, it's basically adding appropriations, so the building department inspectors can attend off-site training. In the special revenue and capital project funds, portion of that is just a payment of property taxes to the receiving entity, the city of Ridgeville, as pass-through for that purpose. In addition, in the special revenue fund, back on July 18th, council approved ordinance 5847 to add $10,000 to the traffic striping project. That's also included in there. There is additional appropriations for the engineering costs for the screen project, which is also on the agenda tonight. And then just payments of Board of Building standard fees. That's in your agency funds.
Very good, thank you. we have the July 2021 financial report. We have other reports. We have our August 2021 fire department report, July 2021 police department report, July 2021 police support car report, and the July 2021 water distribution report. Bring us to correspondence.
A letter from the Lorraine County Board of Elections providing valid wording that represents the valid language for the general election.
Take us to new business. Please read the first request for approval.
Approval for final plat for Meadow Lakes 19 in a PCD.
President,
Yes, Mr. Evans.
move to approve. Second.
It was moved by Avon, seconded by Booth to approve the private approval request. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain? Booth?
Yes.
Evans?
Yes.
Winkle?
Yes.
Jacobs?
Yes.
Maleski?
Yes.
Freeze?
Yes.
The vote was 6 yes, 1 no.
Next up, please read the request for liquor permit.
New liquor permit request, a request from the Ohio Division of Liquor Control for a new liquor request for the Ohio Springs, Inc., doing business as Sheetz Convenience Store, 32390 Lorraine Road.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to request no hearing so that this permit can be sent to the state for final disposition by September 28th.
Second. It was moved by Booth, seconded by Maleski to not request a hearing due to the timeframe constraints stated by Mr. Booth. Are there any comments or questions at this time?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr.
I
Booth.
did check the Secretary of State's website, and this company is in good standing with the Secretary of State.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Booth. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Swain?
Yes.
Booth?
Yes.
Evans?
Yes.
Winkle?
Yes.
Jacobs?
Yes.
Maleski?
Yes.
DeVries?
Yes.
Motion is 7 to unanimous.
This time will bring us to our recess portion of the meeting.
President,
Mr. Booth.
take a motion to dispense with recess.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Maleski to dispense with recess. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. All opposed? Bring us to first readings. T-104.
T-104, 2021, an ordinance amending section 1240.01 of the codified ordinances of the city of North Ridgeville, Ohio, known as the zoning code ordinance, to rezone the following land: 8540 Root Road, parcel number 07-000-014-103-327, and owned by Osmabus Limited from a R1 resident district to a B3 highway commercial district.
I'm going to send that to Planning Commission as well as the Building and Lands Committee. T-105.
T-105, 2021, an ordinance approving the sale of certain personal property owned by the city of North Ridgeville pursuant to the ORC section 721.15D.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Evans to dispense with the second and third readings. All in favor, say yes.
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 All opposed?
Mr. President, make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, I make a motion to add the emergency so we can take advantage of the good pricing on used vehicles and the vehicles that are no longer needed or in service with the.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, seconded by Winkle to add the emergency clause to T 105 for the reason stated. On that clause itself, and only that clause, all in favor say yes. Yes. All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, seconded by Winkle to adopt T 105 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any final comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance 5854, 2021.
T 106.
T 106, 2021, an ordinance amending NRCO Chapter 634 noise control to sound control.
Councilman Molesky, this is duplicate at 294.
These were the changes that we talked about at safety committee. That it's hard to go ahead with some of those changes until that gets up to council to go forward with this particular one.
Do you have any objections? We'll send this also to the safety committee. Further discussion?
Thank you.
We'll send this to safety committee. T 107.
T 107, 2021, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract according to law and in a manner prescribed by law with R.E. Warner, an engineering design firm, for the design of an alternate location for the French Creek wastewater treatment plant influence bar screening system not to exceed $55,800.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr.
I have a
Booth.
question through the chair. I noticed that in 2020, we'd encumbered 45,000 of this expense. And so now it's 55,800, 24% increase. And so I guess my question is, my assumption would be that that's due to higher pricing on many projects that are coming along right now for a number of different things. And my assumption is that the engineering is a percentage of the overall contract. And so if that is correct, are we to make further assumption that at some point the total project, which was $700,000, is not going to be more than that? We'll be looking at a future date to increase that.
Mr. President, I would recommend that we send this to committee to have a meeting about this.
Okay, this time we're going to send that to the committee of the whole. A future date will be announced for that committee.
Can I take that as a yes?
The answer to your question is the project has changed significantly since the initial beginning of this project.
Okay.
Mainly because of efficiencies and cost savings that we'd be able to achieve by these changes that we're undergoing. Unfortunately, it's something that wasn't really discussed when this project first started back in 2019 or so. So it's the same project, but it's changed various ways. But in the end, it's going to be better this way. It's going to save us money. It'll be less costly in flood situations. And that's why I'm suggesting, because there's a lot more detail that we just sent it to committee to discuss.
All right, I think I'm just trying to anticipate future expenditures.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions on T 107 this time? T 108.
T 108, 2021, a resolution of support for the Ohio Public Works Commission priorities by authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and/or local transportation improvement programs and to execute contracts as required.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
move to dispense with the second and third readings for T108.
Second.
It was moved by the mayor, seconded by Winkle to dispense with the second and third reading for T 108. All in favor say yes. Yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Opposed.
Clerk, on T 108, please call. Yes, Mr. Lewis.
Before we vote,
Absolutely.
thank you. It's my understanding through the mayor's comments earlier that there's a deadline for this grant. Or for using the Ohio Public Works Commission grant. And I see per the legislation that it's tied directly to the potential improvements, which would be a roundabout at Stoney Ridge, Mills, and Avalon. Understanding that we want to be in place to procure the funding so that the city wouldn't incur the entire cost. How appropriate is it to pass a legislation prior to having public hearings on it?
This is a grant application, so we're just simply applying for the grant. I guess we could always deny it if for some odd reason we change our minds. But we do need to move forward with the grant application. It is a necessity. At this point, part of the application process is this legislation, and we need to get that turned in as soon as possible. And that project, I'm sorry, Mr. Booth, one more thing. That project is our most shovel-ready project at this point. It will be ready to go. The funds are available after July 1st of 2022. So.
Thank you, Mr. President. So what I'm curious is that we passing this legislation for those in the audience and those with concerns of the potential roundabout. This does not tie us to building a roundabout. This allows the city to be in line for grant money that we would not have to pay back, that would help fund whatever improvements are at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Any further comments from the mayor's administration?
I know we've discussed this issue previously. We passed ordinance or a resolution, an ordinance about the engineer. That was quite a while ago. And we've been moving down this path forward quite some time.
Any other comments?
President,
Yes, Ms. Swain.
it's my understanding that we have passed legislation for the engineering portion of it, but there's still been no public meetings about it, no concerns that the Avalon residents have putting the roundabout into, the entrance of their development. I feel more comfortable having some type of a public meeting where the residents can voice their concerns.
So if you look at T 108, which is you're discussing right now, this is obviously the ability to apply for the grant, that money can be used. If you look at the next piece of legislation, which is T 109, that's actually the authorization to move ahead with the roundabout project. And that was gonna be my next question, is how time sensitive is that part of it? Because I would like to have a public hearing so that we can talk about the exit reports as well as, the configuration and people get an idea of what it's gonna look like. So on this piece of legislation, 108 is for the grant, to get money. We always want to get money, whether it's for roundabout or lights or whatever we decide to do. But I understand your concern, Councilman Swain, about having people have the opportunity to weigh in on the roundabout situation. So on T 108, I will go ahead again and say, made a motion here by the mayor as well as Winkle to dispense with the second and third reading. So on that, clerk, would you please call the roll?
Swain,
No,
Booth,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries,
Yes.
motion carries 6-1.
Well, that's actually dispense with the second and third reading.
Suspend the second and third reading.
Now, Mayor had asked for the emergency clause on this. At this time, I don't know if the council members.
Well, first of all, Mr. President, I'll make the motion to adopt.
Okay,
Second. Mr. President, move to add the emergency clause due to the OPWC deadline.
So it was moved by the mayor, seconded by Winkle, to add the emergency clause T108 to meet the deadline stated by the mayor. All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Clerk, please call the roll. This is to add the emergency clause.
Swank,
No.
Booth,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The emergency clause passes 6-1.
It was then moved by the mayor, seconded by Winkle, to adopt T108 with that emergency clause in place. At this time, are there any final comments or questions? Yes, please.
Again, just to reiterate, the ordinance authorizes us to apply for a grant that provides us monies that doesn't come out of our local taxpayers' direct pockets of our general fund or any other fund improvements to that intersection.
Are there any other comments? Okay, it was moved by the mayor, seconded by Winkle, to adopt T108 with that emergency clause in place. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swank.
No.
Booth,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky, DeVries.
Yes.
The motion to adopt passes 6-1.
T109. Yes.
15/30/2021.
T109.
T109/2021, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to enter into a cooperative agreement with the city of Avon for the construction of a traffic roundabout at the intersection of Stoney Ridge Road and Avalon Drive in Mills Road.
So, Mr. Mayor, again, I just want to ask about what are the time constraints with this? As you've heard me state already, I would like to have a public hearing on this.
So it's just that gets scheduled as soon as possible.
Very good. We'll move that to the committee of the whole as well. And we will announce the meeting date on that, so the public can weigh in and convey their concerns or questions they might have about it. We'll try to get that scheduled as soon as possible. T110.
T110/2021, a resolution to authorize the execution of then and now certificates by the fiscal officer and the payments of amount due for various purchase orders.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Lewis.
take a motion to suspend the second, third readings. Second.
It's moved by Booth, second by Winkle, dispense with the second and third reading for T110. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Mr. President, I make a motion to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, I make a motion to add the emergencies to provide the auditor's office the financial resources necessary.
Second.
It was moved by Booth, second by Winkle, to add the emergency clause to T110 for the reasons stated. On that emergency clause itself, all in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by Booth, second by Winkle, to adopt T110 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any final comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously and becomes resolution 15/31/2021.
T111.
T111. An ordinance amending ordinance number 5784/2020 of the city of North Ridgeville, Ohio, providing appropriations for the period commencing January 1st, 2021 and ending December 31st, 2021.
Yes, Mr. Lewis.
Make a motion to dispense with the second and third readings. Second.
Moved by Bruce, second by Molesky, to dispense with second and third readings for T 111. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed?
Mr. President, make a motion to adopt. Second. Mr. President, make a motion to add the emergency in order to provide the auditor's office with the financial resources needed. Second.
Moved by Bruce, second by Molesky, to add the emergency clause to T 111 for the reasons stated. On that emergency clause itself, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? It was then moved by Bruce, second by Molesky, to adopt T 111 with that emergency clause in place. Are there any comments or questions at this time? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth.
Yes.
Givens,
Yes.
Winkel,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes ordinance 5855 2021.
Readings and second readings. T 103.
103 2021, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to lease purchase a new 2022 single axle dump truck with accessories from the state bid list or state co-op, or to advertise for bids and enter into a 5-year lease purchase agreement with an outside vendor according to law and in a manner prescribed by law, not to exceed $150,000.
Third readings. T 84.
T 84 2021. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to enter into an agreement with Cleveland Communications, Inc. for system services and participation in a 5-city radio system.
Mr. President.
Yes, Ms. Swain.
Second.
It was moved by Swank, second by Winkle, to approve T 84. Are there any comments or questions at this time?
Mr. President.
Yes, Mr.
Just
Booth.
as a reminder, I'll be abstaining from voting to avoid any potential conflict of interest.
Thank you, Mr. Booth.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Evans.
there's two things that really concern me about this particular system. One, that it's not built yet, and we don't know where the problems are going to be with this particular system. The second one is, there doesn't seem to be an interface between the ARC system and the Harris system, the system that they're being considered right now. And from what I can gather, Marks is not going to be overly cooperative as far as the interfacing is concerned. That means if we adopt this, our fire department will not be able to directly communicate with our police department or the state highway patrol or any of our other departments. It's really a concern. And I have to admit, some years back when I was a youth, I was a systems analyst for a new system. And that particular city was the guinea pig. I can't help but think we're going to be the guinea pig for this. And so, just in the morning, how we.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Any other comments or questions?
Hey, Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Winkle.
you know, when I look at this, I understand the comments of council leaders, appreciate them. We're not, we pass this tonight, it's not, we're not making a contract here, because the mayor's administration ability to do so, they see fit. So this is an option, that the fire department likes, our fire department, and I just feel if we don't pass it today, we handcuffing the mayor administration, and I feel a little bit is optional. So no other reason I'll be voting yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Winkle. Any other comments or questions at this time?
Mr. President.
Yes, Ms. Swain.
I'd like to point out that Harris does have these systems built, it's just not particularly built for the 5 cities that want to get this.
Thank you, Ms. Swain. Anybody else comments? I will go on record as well, just saying that we had a number of meetings regarding this matter. And of course, we have really supported our fire department and we will continue to do so. Whether it was the legislation that allowed us to build a new fire department, get a new ladder truck, pumper truck. We actually were very excited when they were able to get 3 additional paramedics. But after hearing the different sides of this, I still have lots of questions. I still have not been handed anything as far as the financial commitment, the success rate with these systems. I know that when we had both sides here to talk about what they were able to offer, there was conflicting statements, which is a concern to me. And I'm not pro or against either system, but what I am for is something that works for us. My concern is kind of related to what Councilman Avon says, what are we getting into? And is it really the best thing for our community? I don't feel like we should rush forward with this until we have more information. We had a couple meetings and I still feel like I don't know any more than I did when we started. I also would like to see some more information from the county level as far as what their thoughts are and their experiences with other counties. I'm hearing there's multiple different types of communication between the Ohio State Patrol, Westlake Police, Avon Fire. I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense to invest in something that doesn't work for everybody. And we cooperate quite a bit with the city of Avon and Westlake when it comes to fire and police. And I think that, some people during these meetings said, oh, we can fix it so that the communication will be there. And then I heard another and said, no, I'm not so sure that we want to do that or would support that. That was actually said in the meetings. And because of that, I don't feel comfortable. I will be voting no. Are there any other comments or questions at this time? All right, it was moved by Swank, second by Winkle to adopt T84. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Abstain.
abstain, Avon,
No.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
No.
DeVries,
No.
three no, 3 yes, and 1 abstention.
T97.
T97, 2021, an ordinance cooperating with the Director of the Ohio Department of Transportation for the resurfacing of Center Ridge Road, US 20, through the city of North Ridgeville, Lorraine County, Ohio.
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Swank.
to adopt.
Sorry. Okay. Separate that. It was moved by Swank, seconded by Molesky to adopt T97. Are there any comments or questions? Clerk, please call the roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky, DeVries.
Yes.
Vote was unanimous and becomes ordinance 5856, 2021.
T98.
T98, 2021, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to lease purchase a new 2022 single axle dump truck with plow and accessories from the state bid list or state co-op, or to advertise for bids and enter into a 5-year lease purchase agreement with an outside vendor according to law and in a manner prescribed by law, not to exceed $250,000.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Molesky.
motion to adopt.
Second. It was moved by Molesky, seconded by Avons to adopt T98-2020. Any comments or questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Lewis.
just a reminder that we did review and discuss this during the appropriation meetings at the end of last year, and city council has approved the funds for it.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Any other comments?
Mr. President,
Yes, Ms. Swank.
does this need the emergency clause so we can have this available during the winter time?
Mr. Mayor.
Unfortunately, it would not be available for this winter, no matter what we did with it. It takes too long for them to get it to us.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, it was moved by Malinsky, seconded by Avons to adopt T 98. Clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avon,
Yes.
Winkel,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
Motion carries unanimously and becomes 58-57-2021.
T 99.
T 99-2021, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to purchase a 2022 cargo van and accessories for the service department through the Ohio Department Cooperation Purchasing Program or the Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Program, and to enter into contract with an outside vendor not to exceed $50,000.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Avons.
move to adopt. Second.
Moved by Avons, seconded by Booth to adopt T 99. Any comments or questions at this time? I will go ahead and restate the same thing Mr. Booth stated earlier. This was something that was done in appropriations and has been budgeted for. Hearing no other comments, clerk, please call the roll.
Swain,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avons,
Yes.
Winkel,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously and becomes 58-58-2021.
T 100.
T 100-2021, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of North Ridgeville to purchase a 2022 one-ton dump truck with plow and accessories for the service department through the Ohio Cooperative Purchasing Program or the Ohio Department of Transportation Cooperative Purchasing Program, and to enter into contract with an outside vendor not to exceed $99,900.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Avons.
to adopt. Second.
Moved by Avons, seconded by Booth to adopt T 100-2021. Any comments or questions?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. Booth.
As of the previous two ordinances, city council, again, we discussed this in appropriations and have appropriated the funds.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avons,
Yes.
Winkel,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously and becomes 58-59-2021.
And T 101.
T 101-2021, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into contracts according to law and in a manner prescribed by law for the construction of the Lorraine Road Water Main Extension, including associated works and inspection services in the city of North Ridgeville in the amount not to exceed $1,100,000.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Avons.
move to approve.
Second.
Adopt, excuse me.
It was moved by Avons, seconded by Booth to adopt T 101-2021. Are there any comments or questions?
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Booth.
again, we did discuss this at length during the appropriation meetings at the end of last year. The city council has appropriated funds.
Thank you, Mr. Booth. Any other comments? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Swank,
Yes.
Booth,
Yes.
Avons,
Yes.
Winkle,
Yes.
Jacobs,
Yes.
Molesky,
Yes.
DeVries.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimously and becomes 58-60-2021.
Okay, under meeting announcements, there will be a Building and Lands Committee meeting on Friday, September the 17th, 2021 at 4 p.m. to discuss T 88-2021 in City Council chambers. There will also be a Safety Committee meeting on Friday, September 17th, 2021 at 4:30 p.m. to discuss T 94-2021 in City Council chambers. Finally, the next regular council meeting will be on Monday, September 20th, 2021 at 7 p.m. here in City Council chambers. At this time, are there any final comments or questions? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.